how did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their source.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Diddy sent those to 50?
Diddy was like funeral flowers.
Oh. Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt. My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
There are no misconceptions about it.
JayZ is setting Diddy up.
Jay's definitely.
Jay helped you?
Yeah.
How did you
As
help?
a competitor.
Explain it.
Yeah, because he never was someone that you communicate with, that you're like friends with the person. But I always respected him because he was never an actual competitor in actual fact. He was someone who was a competitor to perception.
How close was Diddy and JayZ? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but JayZ.
And B was, one time she jumped off of the ledge, came running over because she thought me and Jay had issues, and I was like, what the? And I was like, did she really just jump down and run over here like that?
Beyonce jumped off a ledge.
Yeah, what happened? It was in the Cosmopolitan, huh?
She really a superhero.
She jumped down and no, she was like, this what? Like that Bonnie and Clyde for real? You try this or what, boy? I'm here.
Word.
She down like at me. She looked, I said,
Solange with her?
She looked at me like that. I was like,
a new wave of controversy is taking shape. One that weaves together old rumors, recent scandals, and accusations many assumed had been permanently buried. At the center of it stands 50 Cent, a figure who has spent the better part of 2 decades publicly challenging those he believes are shielded by the entertainment industry. One name has appeared on that list consistently, Diddy. But according to 50 Cent, the story no longer ends there. He's now suggesting that the next wave of scrutiny could reach far beyond a single mogul, extending toward JayZ, Beyonce, and even Oprah Winfrey, 3 of the most powerful and influential figures in modern entertainment. These are names that have circulated in speculation for years, yet were rarely confronted this directly. The spark was lit when 50 Cent hinted that he may be holding new footage connected to the same inner circle implicated in the Diddy controversy. He suggested that the documentary centered on Sean Combs was only the first chapter. Then came a short message that went viral almost instantly. You're next. Fans immediately began connecting the dots, with many interpreting it as a direct signal aimed at JayZ and Beyonce. Questions followed just as fast. Why them? Why now? And why in the immediate aftermath of the Diddy documentary? The answer, according to long-running industry speculation, may lie in a tightly connected elite circle, one protected for years by wealth, influence, and powerful alliances. When a Netflix documentary on Diddy dropped, viewers quickly noted how significantly JayZ and Diddy's professional and social worlds had overlapped across decades, from joint business ventures to private gatherings and exclusive industry events. Beyonce moved within many of those same circles as well, with the same names surfacing repeatedly at Roc Nation events, Grammy after-parties, and high-profile gatherings. Now 50 Cent is signaling that proximity alone may no longer be enough to shield anyone from public scrutiny, as old footage, unresolved claims, and long-dormant stories are being revisited in a new light. And if his hints prove accurate, this may only be the beginning.
More private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client but as a person, and try to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape, and it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial voted not guilty on all the serious charges. It was Mark Agnifilo that did that. Yet Diddy secretly records this guy and embarrasses him. And yeah, you could say, well, Diddy never expected that it would end up being broadcast somewhere else. Well, okay, but Diddy was planning on using it, or he wouldn't have had it recorded in the first place. So it's just really, really unfair. And I know that in a way this sounds crazy, that I'm getting so upset about Diddy, and yet there's video of Diddy beating Cassie. Well, that's horrendous, but that doesn't mean you can't look at something else as well. And I just think, as a lawyer, I just think this is just so outrageous that he would do something like this, and not even understanding what Agnifalo's legal theory was. Because I will tell you that when we did our first documentary on Diddy, which was 8 months before the trial, Mark Agnifalo said to me on camera that he is going to tell this jury that this was a successful black man that prosecutors were trying to take down because they couldn't get into his bank accounts because they were clean, and he couldn't deal with they couldn't deal with taxes because he wasn't committing tax fraud. So they go into his bedroom. And that's what Mark Agnifalo said 8 months before. And he goes into the trial and he essentially wins that argument. Whether you believe it or not, a jury that sat through the whole thing, they believed it, and ultimately they convicted him on this BS Mann Act thing. So Diddy won that case. And one of the reasons he won the case is something that Agnifalo got criticized for. That when he did the documentary with me, he was making a joke about the baby oil. Remember, he said, oh, well, you know, I didn't know he bought in bulk. He must have bought 1,000 bottles at Costco. And a lot of people just slammed him for that and said, how dare you? You're being disrespectful. The baby oil is the smoking gun in this case. Agnifalo knew all along that the baby oil was Diddy's best defense. Because when Agnifalo got before that jury in closing arguments, he looked at them and he said, well, the feds came in with their armor and artillery and guns. And what did they do? They got 1,000 bottles of baby oil off the streets. Ooh, he said, the streets are safer now. And the jury laughed. And that laugh told Agnifalo he should keep going on that. And that the trial itself was absurd because the baby oil was really the punch.
As the years went on, JayZ continued aligning himself with some of the most powerful figures in entertainment, including Diddy, Oprah Winfrey, and executives connected to major corporate and media networks. And whenever 50 Cent believed something was being quietly protected or overlooked, he responded the only way he knows how, through sarcasm, public mockery, and carefully timed social media posts. But this time felt different. For the first time, 50 directly warned JayZ, hinting that he may possess footage or material capable of impacting the Carters. Fans immediately recognized the shift in tone, because 50 Cent doesn't typically bluff. When he suggests he has documents, recordings, or inside information, he usually follows through. And that reputation alone is exactly why JayZ and Beyonce suddenly became the center of intense online speculation. This is also where Oprah's name entered the conversation. Many began asking why she was being mentioned alongside JayZ, Beyonce, and figures connected to Diddy. The answer lies partly in resurfaced criticisms and partly in 50 Cent's long history of publicly challenging her. Over the years, he has accused Oprah of using her platform selectively, scrutinizing certain figures, particularly black entertainers, while allegedly avoiding deeper examination of powerful white executives during the height of the Me Too era. He frequently referenced her involvement in documentaries about R. Kelly, contrasting that with her past association with Harvey Weinstein. On a more personal note, 50 has never hidden the fact that Oprah once declined to interview him, something he has brought up publicly more than once to rally his supporters. That history explains why her name is now being pulled into the broader discussion, and why some believe the situation may extend well beyond a single individual.
Sights on someone new after the Diddy Netflix documentary. If you aren't aware, 50 Cent has been getting insane feedback from the Netflix documentary he made on Diddy. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is what it's called, and it's #1 all over Netflix, beating even Stranger Things. Diddy himself has responded to it saying, the stories are false, of course, denying everything, and even trying to do a cease and desist on the Netflix documentary. And after this Diddy documentary, a lot of people have been wondering who's the next person that deserves to get exposed. And JayZ is the one that a lot of people are pointing their finger at. And the reason why JayZ has been getting a lot of this type of backlash is because JayZ was really close to Diddy. At one point, Diddy was even calling him his brother, and that JayZ's the only one that can call him his real name, Sean. That maybe there's something on JayZ's side that has been going on behind the scenes. Now, there hasn't been any solid proof yet, but Nicki Minaj has been going at JayZ for quite some time, talking about JayZ is manipulative and he steals, and he's been pushing a narrative, and that Roc Nation has control and power over a lot of things. And I can kind of understand where she's coming from to a certain extent. We got to remember when JayZ went up on the Grammy stage and said Beyonce never won Album of the Year and complained about that. Literally the following year, Beyonce wins Album of the Year, which is just something like that doesn't show you that there is some power going on there, that there is something behind the scenes that JayZ controls. It's clear as day that it's all politics on who wins Grammys, you know, who gets the better light and things. So that kind of opened my eyes, you know, as to Roc Nation's power and how they manipulate things in the media. I'll never forget JayZ would get this like special treatment all the time when it comes to the media. I mean, Hot 97, when they interviewed JayZ, they literally rolled out a red carpet. They never did that for any other artist. So JayZ's always had this kind of special treatment when it came to things. But now the question is JayZ involved in crazier things? I mean, there's been a lot of speculation in a lot of different ways, and people are pointing their attention towards 50 Cent wanting him to do a JayZ documentary. And it looks like he might actually do it, because on Instagram, he posted a drawing of JayZ that kind of makes fun of his looks. And he posted that photo and he said this in the caption: "Please stop sending me stuff like this. I'm not going to post it." Basically making a joke, you know, because obviously he posted it on his social media. But, and here's the interesting but in this, is someone commented on the post, and the comment got liked by 50 Cent. And this is the comment. It's from Dom KMDA. I hope I pronounced that right. Dom Kanmada. He commented saying, "My only question, he's next, isn't he?" And 50 ended up liking that comment. And here's the thing. I actually saw this on Twitter and X, you know, whatever, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to confirm, is this real? Because a lot of people Photoshop these type of things just to create drama and create this speculation. So I actually DM'd the guy himself, and I showed him the photo, and I asked him, "Hey, is this a real photo? Did 50 like your comment?" He said, "Hey, yes, he did." And I was like, perfect. Thank you for confirming. Thought it was Photoshopped. I will appreciate the response. And he said, "I was surprised as well. Didn't see that coming." So shout out to him for, you know, responding to my DM and confirming that, you know, the comment actually got liked by 50, because, you know, a lot of people Photoshop and spread narratives. So me being the proper journalist, whatever you want to call me, news reporter, I, you know, wanted to go get to the source and see if it was actually real. There is also something that's very interesting that went over a lot of people's heads, and that's the documentary coming out on December 2nd. That Diddy documentary coming out on that date. Literally 2 days later, you have JayZ's birthday, December 4th, which to me sends a subliminal message to JayZ that you're next. So that's crazy. That just, to me, you know, shows that 50 is potentially gonna work on something going at JayZ, and he might get Nicki Minaj involved, because Nicki Minaj has a huge issue with JayZ with a lot of things, and I don't even know the full details of that, because she's gone at—
He was running with that whole crew, and now people are asking the same questions. How is this going to play out? How was the public supposed to react? Are they really going to let him walk back in like nothing happened? The public has already made its decision. They're canceling him. But has the industry canceled him? That's the real question. Because every single person who attended those Diddy parties, not one of them has stepped forward to clearly denounce what he allegedly did. Not one. There hasn't been a single strong condemnation. Instead, it's always the same response. Let God handle it. Get out of here with that. If it were your daughter, would you just say, let God handle it? None of them are coming forward. But they can't openly defend him either, because that would damage their brand and hurt their image. So they stay quiet. And then you hear things like, JayZ is the only one who can call me Sean, and I'm the only one who can call him Sean. What does that even mean? That's not loyalty. That's image management. At the end of the day, not one person, not a single major figure, has publicly and clearly denounced what he's been accused of. Not one. And people are noticing that silence. They're sitting with it. They're letting it speak for itself. Because in a moment this loud, choosing to say nothing is still a choice. And for many watching from the outside, that silence has become the loudest statement of all.
He was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce. Well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Cause it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. JayZ. We the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there and denounce what he did or come forward.
But the story doesn't stop there. Over the years, criticisms have resurfaced about how Oprah Winfrey has handled certain interactions with black celebrities. Ludacris once claimed his interview responses were edited and that he was lectured about rap music while promoting a film. Dave Chappelle suggested that Oprah framed his struggles as paranoia rather than acknowledging the real pressure he described. Monique has publicly accused Oprah of contributing to her blacklisting following Precious, while Taraji P. Henson has spoken about being significantly underpaid for The Color Purple. 50 Cent has supported several of these grievances, arguing that he sees a consistent pattern in how accountability gets selectively applied within the industry. Then came the controversies surrounding the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, with incidents reported in 2007 and 2011 drawing serious media scrutiny. Online conspiracy theories later attempted to link Oprah to missing children and undisclosed locations, claims that were thoroughly debunked. Even so, the speculation never fully disappeared. Now, with 50 Cent having already targeted one powerful mogul through a widely watched documentary, some believe Oprah could face renewed scrutiny, especially after he hinted that upcoming revelations may involve names nobody would expect. In Hollywood, worlds collide constantly. Oprah has interviewed Beyonce multiple times, praising the Carters' cultural and business impact. JayZ has appeared at events tied to Oprah's network, and she has supported some of his endeavors. Beyonce has also appeared at charity events connected to Oprah's organizations. Taken individually, these moments look like natural overlap among powerful people. But to a growing number of observers, the pattern has become harder to dismiss, especially now, when every past alliance is being placed under a much brighter light.
Beyonce didn't want to speak and does not speak to Brandy. And the truth of the matter is that she go back there with Monica and Kelly and there go Patti LaBelle and then there goes Solange. All right. And there's a reason why Solange is around as well, because if you guys don't know, for a while, Solange and Beyonce actually were not on speaking terms, but they're back talking now. They're back cool. And basically Solange is around to keep Beyonce spiritually protected. Solange is the spiritual protector of that family. Don't get it twisted. Mama Tina is powerful. Solange is the most powerful list. You better ask some damn body. All right. Now, the reason why Beyonce ain't came to speak to Brandy, baby, is because Beyonce does not talk to anyone who used to sleep with JayZ. Okay. Whether you guys know it or not, and I have to say allegedly, right? JayZ and Brandy used to talk back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like late 90s type stuff, right? Brandy always kept JayZ on the low back in the day because quite honestly, he was too ugly to be out in public with. I'm just keeping it real. To claim him publicly, he was too ugly back in the day. Now, when you try to search up pictures of JayZ and Brandy, you will find. Hold up, let me see. Hold up. Let me see, because I thought I had a picture of them two, Brandy and JayZ. Now, this would have been from. Let's see, Beyonce, JayZ. Brandy and JayZ. Okay, there we go. Now, this picture of them was in 2002. All right. And this was, I think was at one of her album release parties, if I'm not mistaken. This was a year after Moesha rap, because Moesha went off air in 2001. Yes, he was dealing with Beyonce at the time as well. And, Blue Cantrell, let me say, JayZ was laying it low and spreading it wide. JayZ was one of those dudes in the industry that, you know, you messed around with. He piped you down, but before he was really him, you did not claim him publicly because he was just simply too ugly. It was what it was. But JayZ was in love with Brandy then. He's not in love with her now, but he still has love and feelings towards her. He's one of those people that feels like once he done had you and once he done loved you, he always feels like he has like possession over you. JayZ is one of those kind of men, baby. I don't know if they told you. JayZ is extremely jealous, extremely controlling, and extremely possessive. That's another reason why. Hold up. Where'd the picture go? Where'd the picture go? That's another reason why Beyonce up here. Wait. Anyway, y'all get the point. That's another reason why Beyonce, over the years, a lot of the music that she's made, it's always been with him. A lot of the remixes, it's always been with him or somebody that he approves of her to work with. Okay. JayZ was so damn controlling, he didn't even want her father, talking about Matthew Knowles now, he didn't want her father managing her anymore, and he stepped in. And if y'all notice, when JayZ stepped in as Beyonce's manager, the music changed, everything changed, and the money started to get effed up. But that's another story for another day. We're not getting on that right now. We're sticking with Brandy and JayZ right now. So they started messing around on the low in the 90s. Even to the early 2000s, they were still messing around. I'm not exactly sure which year the relationship officially ended, but just know that JayZ was just basically good for, that was what he gave. He gave big, I don't know no other way to put it, but he was like, for the ladies that's watching, you know, like if you ever dealt with like a tall, ugly with big pipe, you went to him to get piped down, but you would not like ever like claim him like that because he was just super ugly. It was what it was. And before he really blew up, didn't nobody want to be seen with him like that. It is what it is. And quite frankly, JayZ dated a lot of your favorite female stars from back in the day, but
Diddy and JayZ have also maintained a long-standing professional relationship. Over the years, they collaborated on music, appeared together at high-profile events, and moved through many of the same luxury and business circles. Whenever conversations turn to the elite networks surrounding Diddy, JayZ and Beyonce are rarely far from the discussion, not because either has been accused of specific wrongdoing, but because of proximity. The same rooms, the same award shows, the same investment groups, the same private after-parties, the same inner layers of Hollywood influence. In an industry built entirely on relationships and access, simply being close to power can be enough to attract public scrutiny. Associations that once seemed unremarkable are now being looked at differently. Moments that passed without question are being replayed and re-examined. And figures who spent years operating comfortably behind the shield of wealth, influence, and carefully maintained reputations are now finding that shield beginning to crack. As past alliances continue to be revisited, some observers believe that those once considered completely untouchable are now standing under a far brighter spotlight than they ever anticipated. And for many watching from the outside, that shift feels like it is only just beginning.
Contract. The big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
This guy. You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. At the same time. He got some shit. He started drinking. His pictures with him. He thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
You didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, it's like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch. Like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's crazy. He's just looking at his watch during the whole Rock Nation, bro. Like, is it 3:30?
Yeah, it's almost time to get out. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Oh wow! So that's the deal he signed, huh?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Oh, yeah, before I forget this, we talked about Jay. Proximity to Diddy. You don't think he knew anything? He's seemingly around Diddy a lot.
No, that was a real suburb question.
I know, right? Proximity.
Hold on. Proximity.
Proximity. That's the SAT hit parade word. I learned that.
Do you think you knew all of the shit that was going on? Then I was like
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way he said it,
like I said,
no matter how you answer that, you snitching.
That was a nice kind of question. Yeah.
You asked the question like a fan.
Hey, I grew up with white people, but one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
But it's a great question. Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro.
He said, damn, they wasn't even drinking.
Speaking of, how the hell you pronounce
Le Chemin de Roi.
Okay.
It's the King's Path.
King's Path.
Because I know Branson.
Yeah.
That's the one I pronounce.
Branson. That's the Branson lifestyle. You're going to be outside.
You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got that in my past.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
like, not that it's real enough.
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. Or to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink to
This is why 50 Cent's warning feels different. According to his supporters, it isn't framed as random gossip. It's presented as a web of long-standing connections. In that narrative, Oprah's past controversies, Diddy's legal troubles, JayZ's public silence, and Beyonce's carefully managed image are seen not as isolated stories, but as overlapping threads running through the same powerful network. And 50 has made one thing clear. Hollywood's power structure no longer intimidates him. Many assumed his documentary would impact only Diddy, but the online reaction suggests the ripple effect runs far broader. Anyone who worked with Diddy, attended his events, collaborated on projects, or simply moved within similar circles has faced increased public curiosity. That includes artists, producers, executives, and other high-profile figures. Not because they've been formally accused of anything, but because proximity alone is often enough to ignite speculation. When 50 Cent hinted that more documentaries could be on the way, social media was intensified almost immediately. Not necessarily because people believe everyone involved is guilty of something, but because 50 has spent years building a reputation for digging deep, challenging powerful figures others refuse to touch, and following through when most expected him to back down. That track record is precisely what makes his warnings land differently. In an industry where silence is currency and image is everything, the mere suggestion that someone like 50 Cent is watching and recording is enough to make even the most protected names suddenly feel exposed.